everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables and welcome to a different type of video I'm trying. I've done this video a couple times over the past few months on my channel and you guys seem to like them and I like doing them because it's just interesting, quite honestly. So these are my favorite books by some of my favorite authors. So I did a romance edition one where I talked about my favorite books from like Emily Hazelwood, Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez, you get the gist with that. That was just romance. I talked about all the books I've read and then my favorite from each of them. And then I also did a thriller one where I did the same thing with like Grady Hendrix, Riley Sager, etc., etc. because I've read a lot of all of those authors' individual books, but I'm going to tell you what my favorite is. And today is kind of a mash between literary and just other ones because I have some. I have about 6 or so authors I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about all of the books I've read by them and my favorite from each one because it's interesting. People have different favorites of People have different favorite books from different authors, like your favorite album from an artist. A lot of people have different opinions. It's always interesting to see what people's favorites are from that author and their least favorites. So without further ado, let's get in because I have some books to talk about. First up, we're going to begin with Kristin Hannah. Now, Kristin Hannah has had a huge backlist. Have I read even half of them? No, I have not. I have only read 4 Kristin Hannah books. I'm ashamed of myself because I really enjoy her and I would consider her one of my favorite authors. But the truth of the matter is her books are so emotionally draining, like a Lifetime movie on steroids, that I can't read a ton of them every single year. I probably read 1 a year because they drain the hell out of me. So that is why I've only read 4. So there you have it. So the 4 I've read The Great Alone, The Nightingale, The Women, and Firefly Lane. Of course, we should all probably know my favorite Kristin Hannah book, and I think most of everybody's favorite Kristin Hannah book, is The Nightingale. This is also my favorite book of all time. I love it. I adore it. If you would have told me before I read this it would be my favorite, I would have not believed you. But I read it many, many moons ago because everyone was talking about it. It's historical fiction, World War II. This book will make you sob buckets. Like, I remember just pouring tears onto the page. I don't recall ever doing that with a book, but like, it's just, I haven't met too many people that don't say that this is their favorite Kristin Hannah book. It's well worth the hype. The movie is going to be coming out, which I'm very excited about because I hope it flocks more people to the book because I love and adore it. But yeah, out of the 4 I've read, it hasn't been a lot of the books I've read. I think this will continue to be my favorite Kristin Hannah book, despite how many ones I read more in the future. Taylor Jenkins Reid, another one of my favorite authors. I would classify her books as like literary, historical. Her earlier ones are kind of more women's fiction. Either way, she has written 9 and I have read 9. And I've done a whole author video on her of ranking them. But when I think about my favorite, I have a hard time choosing because genuinely, I really like all of her books for very different reasons. I still really enjoy her earlier ones where it's women's fiction. She's very different tonally with those books, but I still really like them. And then I think she really came into fruition and really got popular when she started doing her kind of fictitious historical figures, like books about famous people that aren't real, if you can say that that's a thing. That's what she's kind of done. She's done one with a tennis star, with an actress, with a band, with an astronaut. She's done it, okay? So honestly, when I think about it, these 2 are my favorite. I think a lot of people's favorites is probably The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, with good reason. This was the first ever Taylor Jenkins book I read because of the hype and stuff. It's kind of her first big book that got really, really big. It's all about a character named Evelyn Hugo, who is a famous actress, but not really. And you kind of chronicle her life, and it's interesting, it's sad, it'll make you cry. It's really, really good. It's one of my favorites for a reason. It's very addicting. That is her writing style. Like, Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of those authors that if she wrote directions to mashed potatoes, like the blandest mashed potatoes ever, I would be like 5 out of 5, riveting, tell me more, I need to know more. She's that type of author for me. And the other one I love is just J. Jones and the Six. I love this book. Like, when I finished this book, I felt it in my mind, even though this was a fictitious band, that this band, Daisy Jones and the Six, was a real band. because it just makes you feel like it. This is obviously a nod to Fleetwood Mac. They also have it also has its own Prime show, which I do enjoy. I do like the music. They did really good with the music, but it is just addicting. I would recommend listening to this because it is told literally and kind of just stories with scripts and stuff like that, because it's all about a band. Daisy Jones and the Six, they got really huge and all of a sudden they weren't big at all and they broke up. What happened? But either way, when I think of Tell Your Goodreads favorites, these two are my favorite. Then we have Frederick Bachman, another one of my favorite authors. I have read all of his books except for one. So I've read 10 of his books. 10. I couldn't believe it. Like, I am including the novellas because some of his novellas are just like chef's kiss. Like, and every day the way home gets longer and longer. Like, that short story hits so deep. Like, it's amazing. I highly recommend reading it. But when I think about my favorite Frederick Bachman book, I always will say Beartown. I love Beartown. Now, this is not the first Frederick Bachman book I fell in love with. I actually really love A Man Called Uwe. Like, these are probably, like, I'd probably put this first and then this right behind it. They're both amazing. He writes very heartwarming, yet funny, yet also sad books. This is about a small town, and I want to say forget where Frederick Bachman lives. I'm horrible. And the only thing this town is known for is kind of like ice hockey, and then something big happens to this town that kind of tears them apart. You follow many different characters and what they think and believe in this situation, and it is heartwarming, it is sad, it'll punch you in the gut, but it'll also bring you back up. Highly recommend anyone read this. And if you're wondering, the only Frederick Bachman book I haven't read yet is the third book in this series. I haven't read it yet because I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for it. I don't know if it needed to be written, but Beartown will always have my heart. And then next up, I have some like kind of random authors, so just bear with me here. Next up, I have Sophie Kinsella. I know, like, the three authors I've talked about before, she fits nowhere in this because she's like chick lit. Like, she's kind of the first ever chick lit author I really read, honestly. Like, she was kind of my first foray into romance, but hers is more funny, like chick lit funny and stuff like that. But I didn't know where else to fit her, so she's just gonna go in this video, and that's gonna be great. I have read 15 Sophie Kinsella books. 15! I did not think I have read that many, but boy oh boy, I have read quite a few of them. My favorite has stayed the same consistently, and that is I've Got Your Number. I would love for this to get a different cover. I don't love this cover, I don't hate it, but I want something better. I love this one. I highly recommend, if you ever read a Sophie Kinsella, listen to it. The audiobooks are hilarious because her books are just straight up hilarious. This is all about a character named Poppy who gets engaged, is having a great life, then she accidentally loses her engagement ring and she gets kind of involved, not like in a bad way, with this guy named Sam because she found his phone and business assistant. I don't know. It's funny, okay? It is hilarious. It's full of antics and things like that. You have to suspend your belief for them, but man, they're just fun times. I love Sophie Kinsella books. I haven't read one in quite some time, so I might need to remedy that. But if you're just looking for a good laugh and just romantic and funny, this book is for you. This book is here for you. I think you'll really enjoy it. Listen to it. The last author I want to talk about is Catherine Center. Again, she doesn't quite fit in anywhere else. She's not really overly romance, but she's not literary fiction either. She's, I would say, woman's fiction, if you will. I have read 8 of her books, which is quite a lot, and I haven't even read all of her backlist. There's like 4 I haven't read yet. But I think my favorite is always going to be The Bodyguard. I think a lot of people's favorites Catherine Center book is The Bodyguard. Understandably so. It is fun. It is amazing. It's about a character named Hannah who is a bodyguard to the stars, if you will. She gets assigned to Jack Stapleton, who is a big-time movie star, and he's had some problems with some stalkers, so the agency sends him Hannah, and he's like, look, I have to go back home to Texas because my mom's cancer came back sadly, and I understand you have to go with me because you're my bodyguard, but I don't want them to worry about that because they're already worried about everything else. So just pretend you're my girlfriend while bodyguarding. And it sounds crazy, but it's just a fun time. It's adorable. It's romantic. It's sweet. It's my favorite Catherine Center book. I might need to do a ranking of her books as well because I've read 8 of them now. So I really enjoy them. There are some that I don't like, but for the most time, I really do enjoy Catherine Center books. So yeah, this is a short but sweet video because when I look at authors, I feel like I've had to have read at least 4 or more of their books to have like a favorite. I can't read 2 and be like, this is my favorite. Because when I look, I'm like, I've only read a couple of their books or a couple of their books. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? Like, I would love to do ones for like, Meg Schaefer. I've only read 2 of her books. Or Elaine Fargo. I've only read 1 of her books. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, those are just some of my favorite. Those are my favorites from these authors. If you want about any other particular authors, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to know and do these for you because I enjoy them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.